Phil Heatley.
Mr Speaker, people watching and listening to this debate will wonder why the member New Zealand First was using notes so much, essentially a read speech from paper presented to him. And that's just about, if you don't sort of know the facts or know the portfolio well or know the sector well, you can't speak to it well. So what I thought I'd do is just a brief history of time and cover the range of housing issues that people out there that list MPs in New Zealand First don't need to face. First of all, when it comes to buying a house and even renting it, because you're essentially paying the landlord's mortgage, interest rates are the most important issue. So if you have a $300,000 interest rate, and New Zealand First will need to concentrate, they've got a calculator, grab it, you've got a $300,000 mortgage and interest rates go up by 1%, you've got to find an extra $3,000 a year.
Order. Don't bring me into it.
Mr Speaker, if the interest rate goes up 2%, you've got to find $6,000 a year. If it goes up 3%, you've got to find another $9,000 a year. Interest rates in recent years have been around 5 or 6%. Under Labor, 8, 9, 10%. That's how they manage the economy, Mr Speaker. Under Labor, people had to find an extra $3,000, $6,000, $9,000 a year just to service a mortgage. What about social housing, Mr Speaker? Under our policy, we've seen social housing providers supported through the social housing unit. The Labor Party never gave them income-related rents. We're looking at that at the moment. In Hobsonville, they've owned the land for 5 years and never built a single house. They talk about what Hobsonville could have been, state houses on the rest. In 5 years, they never built one house. One house, and the same in Tamaki. Mr Speaker, we've also upgraded state housing. You'll know that 7,000, 8,000 state houses across New Zealand weren't even insulated. Tens of thousands of state houses across New Zealand weren't even insulated. They're all going to be insulated by the end of this term, and so that should be. Old, cold and mouldy houses under Labor aren't what we support. The Resource Management Act and Building Act, more regulation under the Labor Party, and we've cut back on that. And of course this bill, Mr Speaker, which solves the last of the holistic problem, the suite of projects that we've put forward that I listed, land supply. It's very, very important, Mr Speaker, supply land for housing. Labor Party oppose new land for housing. They call that sprawl, and they oppose density. You can't squeeze in housing together and go up. So they're against more land for housing, and they're against using land better by increasing density. I don't know where they are, but this bill shows clearly that we're looking at the suite of options. We understand that there's no silver bullet, no quick fix. You have to look at regulation, you have to look at interest rates, you have to support social housing, you've got to upgrade those state houses, and you have to increase your land available for housing to be built on. Mr Speaker, I support this bill.
The Honourable Mary Ann Street.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. And